So around 2 years ago, we learned that Byredo was purchased by Puig from Manzanita Group, Manzanita Capital. And at that time, I was wondering to myself, which brand is going to join, or which brand is Manzanita Capital going to acquire after the sale of Byredo. So if you don't know Manzanita Capital or the Manzanita Group, they currently control brands like Diptyque, Space NK. They have Malin and Getz. Let me show you if you don't know Malin and Getz. They have really great skincare products and also some fragrances. I am a big fan of strawberry for its kind of molecular fruity greenness. But I speak a lot about Diptyque. This is the latest version of Benjoin Bohème. This is the older version of Benjoin Bohème. But yeah, when that sale happened, Byredo got purchased by Puig. I thought, which brand is going to go with Manzanita Capital? And sure enough, the back of my mind, I thought about DS and Durga because I thought that would be the brand that would fit their repertoire, and they recently got purchased by the Manzanita Group. So anyway, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Manzanita Group and their brands, and also do a top 7 ranked list of DS and Durga fragrances that I have and I love. So if you want to find out about this information about DS and Durga, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We're talking about DS and Durga and how they got purchased by Manzanita Group. So they are owned by the Fisher family, if you guys don't know who they are. They are a company or a family from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I believe they have owned the Gap brands for a long time. But as part of the Manzanita Group, they've had Diptyque for a long time. I believe they had Byredo since the early 2010s. And then, of course, there's other companies that they own or brands that they own are under the name of Manzanita Group. Let me read you a little bit about this purchase. And Brooklyn-based niche fragrance brand DS and Durga was founded in 2008 by husband and wife duo David and Cavi Moltz, that marries just the right level of creativity with wearability, creating a series of commercial blockbuster fragrances. Manzanita Capital, the family office of the Fisher family, is a specialist investor focused on developing luxury and premium beauty companies into enduring global brands. Unconstrained by strict investment horizons, its long-term perspective is backed by patient family capital. The firm's current portfolio includes Diptyque, Space NK, Malin and Getz, Susan Kaufman. They also have investments in Glossier, Unbound, Hair Care by Sam McKnight, A-Frame, and Super Ordinary. So anyway, yeah. So I think the brand DS and Durga will fit perfectly with these other brands that they control. And I don't know what will happen with the fact that DS and Durga is part of this group now. I actually really enjoyed Byredo's fragrances when they were with them, and I still enjoy the fragrances of Diptyque. So I don't consider the Manzanita Capital Group as big as somebody like Puig or L'Oreal or, conglomerates like that. But we'll see what's going to happen with the fragrances of DS and Durga, and hopefully they won't be ruined too much and go through any reformulations. But in the back of my mind, as I said, I did think that DS and Durga might fit this, repertoire of brands under the Manzanita Capital Group. And let me know what you guys think about this acquisition of this firm. Do you think it fits the brands like Malin and Getz, the Diptyque brand? I don't know much about Suzanne Kaufman, and then the Space NK is basically a retail chain, I believe, of beauty products. So I haven't been to one in ages. So there used to be one here. And so what happened was, before Byredo was purchased by Puig, I believe the Manzanita Capital Group changed the Space NK store into a Byredo store. So it's currently now a Byredo store here in San Francisco, but formerly was a Space NK retail store. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you about a top 7 list of DS and Durga fragrances. Let me know what your favorite DS and Durga fragrances are. But just a little more about DS and Durga. I first discovered DS and Durga at a J. Crew store here in San Francisco. In fact, I bought a fragrance called Italian Citrus from the J. Crew store here, probably around 2012, 2013. I was a big fan of that fragrance, but I started hating it because it kind of got boring for me. I like citruses in general, but I think it was missing something I realized after the fact. So I wore a full bottle of the DS and Durga Italian citrus before the bottles became like this, because they used to be more flat and tall. So I had a 50 ml bottle of Italian citrus. I don't currently own it in its current version in a bottle like this, but that is the very first fragrance I wore and later got bored of. So let's go ahead and get started with the ranked list. We're going to start off with, oh, that's not the right one. We're going to start off with Deep Dark Vanilla at the number 7th spot. Ranked so low, right? It's interesting how this is ranked so low. The reason is, it's weird. It's a weird scent. I had very much high hopes with this fragrance, but I blind bought it because people recommended it to me, and I was like, what the hell am I smelling? It smells very earthy. I don't know, it's just a weird combination of notes, and I like generally the combo of patchouli and vanilla. I have multiple fragrances that are featuring these two notes together, but this one almost doesn't work. It is very medicinal and has something that I'm not liking. Perhaps it'll grow on me later, but if you are a fan of Deep Dark Vanilla, let me know. Put a comment down below. It's featuring notes of dark patchouli, vanilla absolute, hay, cypress root, green vanilla leaves, vines, Cabreuva, orchid, pink pepper. So I had to look up Cabreuva. I've seen it come up quite a bit in different fragrances. And there's two fragrances here with the DS and Durga I'm going to talk to you about that features Cabreuva. In fact, the next one is also featuring Cabreuva. Supposedly, Cabreuva is a sweet, warm, woody smell with a nutty floral touch. I can see that. There's a bit of nuttiness in this. It's just a very strange scent. And if you are a fan of Deep Dark Vanilla, let me know. Let's quickly smell Deep Dark Vanilla so I can tell you a little bit more about it. Yeah, it's just it's very medicinal. It's almost like the patchouli is very raw, unadulterated, unfiltered. Just give it to us as is, and it takes over, and it's very medicinal. The vanilla is not so strong for me. This should have been called medicinal vanilla, because whatever notes are in here combined together, or maybe it's the patchouli, but it's quite spicy, dark, medicinal, a bit green. That's all I get with this one. It's not very welcoming. I love the idea of patchouli and I love the idea of vanilla alone and together. But this one, it's almost like not working together. Not working whatsoever. Again, this is Deep Dark Vanilla. Let me know if you're a fan of it. I had high hopes for that one. Sadly, it just did not work. But if you're a fan of it, what do you like about it? If you're not a fan of it, what do you hate about it? But moving on to a brand spanking new one I just purchased because I smelled this along the way somewhere and I really fell in love with it. And even though it's a simplistic fragrance and it's ranked lower, I like the other fragrances from this house better. But if I was going to put it in together a list of grapefruit fragrances, this would rank pretty high because it's a great grapefruit fragrance. It's called Grapefruit Generation, this one right here. And Grapefruit Generation, I like the name, don't you? It's all about grapefruit. There's pomelo and grapefruit in this. But the notes in Grapefruit Generation are grapefruit, pomelo skin, Paradisone, Animalic musk, Hawthorn flower, Cork, Tuberose, and elm leaves. Anybody a fan of this one? I think this is perfect for warm weather wear. And even though they say there's Animalic musk in here, it's not very animalic for me, or it's quite hidden with the other notes. It's very fresh. It's zingy, spicy. There's a zestiness about it. Just comes off very, very fresh. And the idea of the skin is really, really great because pomelo is kind of like a grapefruit to begin with. So you've got the grapefruit, you've got the pomelo skin. So you've got the juiciness of the grapefruit and the skin of the pomelo. It's that bitter zing zestiness, the spiciness together. It wears really, really great. And sometimes these spicy kind of citrusy fragrances are perfect in the heat. They will cut through the heat and humidity and refresh you along the way. But again, it's a very fresh fragrance, so this is probably more appropriate for warm weather wear, as I was saying. or something that you need like a mood booster and uplifting, because it's very uplifting. It's a very happy fragrance. It's a burst of sunshine when you put your nose against this one, because it's really, really fantastic. I really love that about it. Let's quickly smell this one as well. Yeah, it's very luscious. It's just juicy as heck. It's zingy. But there's definitely some sweetness there. There's definitely some sweetness. Very, very yummy fragrance. I really like that one. I'm so glad I have it. And I think that's going to be perfect in the heat this summer. I'll be doing some traveling to some warm places, and hopefully I can put that to good use, because I really like grapefruit and fragrances. So up next, we've got Bistro Waters, this one right here. And even though I had a bit of a tough time deciding where to put Grapefruit Generation and Bistro Waters, Bistro Waters has some more complexity to it. It's not a straightforward citrus, so I put the Bistro Waters here at number 5 versus at number 6 where Grapefruit Generation ended up. Bistro Waters is a green fragrance. It's a bit vegetal. It features notes of green bell peppers, lime blossom or linden blossom with coriander, moss, basil, pear, mandarin, and nutmeg. So it's very green and vegetal, but also spicy and earthy, mossy for sure. And it's very, very fresh with citruses galore here. And of course, aromatic or herbal touches is here as well. And we've got a bit of sweetness coming in from all these things. The linden blossom or the lime blossom note has a kind of a sweet honeyed effect when you smell it to begin with. So it adds a bit of sweetness in this particular green, fresh, citrusy, vegetal, spicy, mossy fragrance. Really, I really enjoy it. And I have this featured in a vegetal fragrances video if you're curious to find out more about vegetables used in, in fragrances, because it's featuring green bell peppers. So catch that video. But let's go ahead and quickly smell this Bistro Waters. There's something about the names of Diaz and Durga fragrances that's very unique. I mean, I really like their catchy quirkiness about the names. And then the packaging and everything is very simplistic. So something has to stand out, and it's the names of these fragrances mostly. And of course, the smells. But yeah, very green and aromatic, very herbal, mossy as well. And the sweetness is developing. Has some yellow floral touches. That linden blossom, I love this note. I've fallen in love with it lately. And a bit fruity, I guess. The pear is not necessarily like a really substantial smelling fruit. And I feel like it blends in perfectly, where it adds its kind of, unique fruity sweetness, but it doesn't dominate and take over kind of these more fragile type notes that are in here to create this kind of green, fresh, vegetal smell. A really great fragrance. Really, really love it for a, vegetable usage in fragrances. It's green bell peppers with Bistro Waters. And the name, again, is very, very catchy. Really, really love that one. But the next fragrance at number 4 is Leather Eyes. This is one of 2 fragrance enhancers. You can wear these fragrances on their own. We're going to get to I don't know what. It's further up the list. But Leather Eyes is more of a substantial fragrance that you can wear on its own rather than to enhance it. Because if you're going to use Leather Eyes to enhance a fragrance, you're going to have to find a fragrance that's stronger than this. Otherwise, this is going to dominate. Like, I would never mix I don't know what with Leather Eyes. Unless you mix like a dab of Leather Eyes and like 10 sprays of I don't know what. Because this fragrance is so super potent, I don't understand the whole idea of using it as an enhancer. And like I said, you have to have something as strong as this or stronger to kind of like be able to use it as an enhancer. But for me, it's a complete fragrance on its own. And it's one of the most realistic leather smells ever. Really, really love the way this leather fragrance smells. And it smells real. It doesn't smell like Tuscan leather. It doesn't smell like Citrusy. It smells like a real leather. Like the real leather that is actually used when it's being produced or used to make shoes and clothing or whatever. I used to work in a leather shop as a young kid with my uncle who's a shoe designer. So I know that smell. The smell of leather is really, really distinct. It doesn't smell like Tuscan leather. Maybe it does smell a little bit like Citrusy, but this to me smells more realistic. So the notes are butterscotch leather, cistus, cubeb, pale orris, cypriol, saffron, vegan castoreum, myrrh, cade oil. And as you can see, it's very substantial with all the notes. There's a lot of notes happening, and they're very substantial notes. Resins, amber, spices, and things like that. And it's powdery too, because it's got that pale orris. So I would say this is very powdery, very woody, very leathery, and also animalic, because you are going to smell the realistic leather, and leather comes from an animal after all. So you're going to really smell that smell here. It's got smokiness because it smells charred, but once again, it smells like a leather shoe. It really does smell like a leather shoe, and I like that about it because it's very, very authentic smelling. Again, it doesn't smell anything like Tuscan leather, nothing like that. This is the real stuff. And try it if you're into the idea of a realistic leather fragrance. Leatherize. And once again, even though it says enhancer, I wouldn't use it as an enhancer personally. It's just going to dominate everything else that you spray it with because it's extremely strong. But moving on to the number 3 fragrance, it's Pistachio. This came out early last year. It was a limited edition fragrance, and I think it was popular enough to bring it back. I really do enjoy this fragrance, really love it for the nuttiness, the pistachio effect, and that hint of something like Mugler's Angel. So it's featuring notes of pistachio for top, heart, and base notes. So it's an overdose of green, nutty pistachio. It has cardamom, that fresh spice, bit soapy, a bit pungent smelling cardamom that is used quite a bit in fragrances, and cardamom is a really, really great note in fragrances. It freshens and spices things up in fragrances, and I like that about it. And with the cardamom, it does add a bit of soapiness. For me, it smells clean. But then you've got almonds in here, roasted almonds, vanilla cream, and maybe patchouli is supposed to be in here as well, but it's not credited. I feel like there's a bit of a patchouli touch, and I think all these notes together and that whole patchouli touch is giving me a bit of a Mugler Angel reminder. In the end, it's woody, nutty, it's very creamy, smooth, it's got some green touches, and of course spicy, sweet, gourmand, nutty gourmand. Have you guys tried pistachio yet? They just came out with peanut too, which I haven't got my nose on. I think it's another limited edition fragrance. Hopefully you guys get to try it. But I really love pistachio a lot. It's very cozy. The smoothness is really, really great as well. It smells really wonderful. So it's DS & Durga's Pistachio at number 3. So the next fragrance is a limited edition fragrance, and I believe that's how Pistachio was. And I think what they do is, because of demand, they launch it officially. This is Mahogany Cora. So Mahogany Cora is patchouli to the max. Really, really lovely patchouli. Smells super, super fantastic. And I am so happy that I was able to buy this because it's sold out on the DS & Durga website. But Ministry of Scent here in San Francisco had some bottles. So I was grateful to be able to buy this because they only had a few bottles left. Again, it's a limited edition. Hopefully they'll bring it in as a regular fragrance. I do see it selling quite a bit online as well. So if you like the idea of it, get yourself a bottle because it'll disappear. And if it's not very popular like pistachio, I don't think they'll bring it back. But it's patchouli, canna de caju, which is rum made from cashews, vanilla absolute, orange flower, calabash nutmeg, African mahogany, atlas cedar, Baguchi hibiscus. So very interesting that they use these interesting notes, and that's another thing that I like about DS & Durga. Get to learn about notes that I haven't heard about, or maybe people just don't mention them because they're so odd. But DS & Durga is not really afraid to mention it. Like canna de caju, I never knew anything about it. Rum made from cashews sounds super fantastic because I love cashews. But going back to this, it's a very clean, polished patchouli, super amazing. And here's the thing. I feel like, I don't know, are they using the patchouli in Mahogany Cora that's in deep dark vanilla? Because the deep dark vanilla says dark patchouli, whereas the Mahogany Cora, it's actual patchouli. It doesn't say dark patchouli. And I prefer this much more than deep dark vanilla. Deep dark vanilla is not working for me, absolutely not. I've put it here at number 7 because it's the 7th fragrance that I have, and it's my least favorite of the bunch. But in Mahogany Cora, there's no vanilla. It's just a patchouli in your face, and all the notes that are in here really do complement the patchouli. It creates a very, very sexy fragrance, and also very long lasting. This is one of the longest lasting ones from this house, especially given the fact that it's patchouli. Patchouli has a really great longevity, also the trail and everything like that. So the combination is really, really great. There is a bit of booziness, a bit of nuttiness, but that patchouli is the star, and it smells super, super fantastic. So Mahogany Cora from the house of DS & Durga. Let me know if you know about that fragrance. Put a comment down below so I can find out. And last but not least, I don't know what. Yes, I am picking this one up number 1. It's a love at not for sniff, I should say. So when they first put this out in 2019, early 2019 here at Barney's in San Francisco, which is sadly closed now, I didn't think twice about it. I thought this is a boring fragrance. I resampled it summer of 2019 in LA at the Lucky Scent Bar, DTLA. There, the heat really made this fragrance come alive, and it's been one of my favorite enhancers, but also minimalistic fragrances to wear on its own. It is an enhancer. And from what I hear from retailers also, this is their #1 seller at the stores. So it's got a following. Try it. If you're anosmic to certain smells, this might not smell like anything. Try it over and over again, wear it in the heat, let it kind of come alive on your skin, and it's super fantastic and musky. And it's a kind of a fresh fragrance, but woody, musky, ambery, citrusy. And again, you can wear it on its own if you like minimalistic fragrances. You can enhance it. You can wear it with a lot of these. And like, I could see myself putting Grapefruit Generation together with I don't know what, Bistro Waters with I don't know what, maybe Pistachio. I had to think twice about it, but I feel like once the fragrance becomes substantial, this might be, you know, hidden under the substantial smelling fragrance, but something light to enhance it with. You can also do it with other fragrances, but the fragrance features notes of Ambrox Super, Fursantal, Civitone, ISOE Super, vetiver acetate. So there's vetiver woodiness in this. Civitone is a synthetic civet. There's a bit of funk, but it's not literally like Animalic or anything. But it's woody, musky, spicy, powdery, does have a synthetic edge to it. And of course, amber, aromatic, and citrusy as well. I really love this one. So it's at #1. Anyway, that's the list for you guys. What do you guys think of this acquisition by Manzanita Capital of DS and Durga? So hopefully we'll see some stores pop up. I think from what I read, DS and Durga now has a store in Los Angeles. Is this true? I mean, I think I read that they were opening up a store some time ago. So most likely they might open a few more stores here and there. But I am a fan of this house. I'd like to dig in further. And as those of you that are really big fans of DS and Durga, let me know what other fragrances to check out. And let me know what your thoughts are on this Manzanita Capital purchase of DS and Durga. Put a comment down below so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Last but not least, this has become a collector's item, and I think there's not much stock out there. It's a discontinued DS and Durga fragrance. It's White Peacock Lily. I really like this. It's very white floral, and it's a bit indolic for me, to my nose. And it features lilies, white lily cream, Egyptian jasmine, and I think that's what's causing the indolic touch. Liquid ambrette seeds, fog, vanilla, oleander, alabaster violets, grapefruit pith, Cabreuva rouge. So yeah, I mean, this is a really beautiful lily fragrance, but for me, I feel like it's a bit misnamed because for me, the Egyptian jasmine sticks out or stands out more. And so I'm getting a lot of indolic touches from the jasmine. But again, it'll be a collector's item because it is discontinued. But let me know if you're a fan of White Peacock Lily, and or if you are not, what don't you like about it? Because you got to be into the white floral notes. And again, for me, it's a nice combo of the white lily cream with Egyptian jasmine, but for me, I get more of the jasmine in here than the white lilies. Anyway, White Peacock Lily, that is the bonus fragrance. Let me know if you're a fan of that. See you guys later. Bye.